Would our guests please be seated as our forum will start very soon. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Asia MENA Cultural, Technological, Economic Forum, Hong Kong as Gateway, organized by the Asia Content Business Summit and jointly with Cyberport, Manga Productions, Salon Films, and Salon Media Lab. I'm Helen, the MC of today. So today we have invited distinguished speakers and panelists to talk at the forum. Besides our audience at the Cyberport Arena, our event is now live broadcasted by YouTube, and we hope that our overseas friends will also enjoy the forum. To kickstart the forum, I would like to invite Mr. Simon Chan, Chairman of Cyberport, to come on stage to give a welcome speech. Mr. Chan, please.
Council General, Dr. Pukari, Fred, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you all to Cyberport. For the occasion, it's the very first cultural exchange between Hong Kong and Saudi Arabia since President Xi paid an official visit to the kingdom earlier this month. During the visit, the President mentioned the first animation jointly produced by China and Saudi Arabia, Hakim and Kong Sai Siu, which has been widely viewed and beloved by children, sowing seeds of friendship in the young minds of both countries. The movie's success is an evident testimony to the powers of arts in deepening cross-regional understanding and bonding, and manifests the significance of today's forum to strengthening Hong Kong's position as an East-West center for international cultural exchange, underpinned by the Chinese central government. The fruitful interchange today will allow us to co-generate ideas for Hong Kong to act as a gateway connecting MENA and Asia through digital entertainment. Saudi Arabia is going through rapid digital transformation accelerated by Saudi Vision 2030. Earlier, the kingdom has announced ItLight, a new program for digital content creation and production, backed by $1.1 billion in investment. We are thrilled by the great opportunities brought by the initiative to Hong Kong innovators who are known to transform digital entertainment and media sector with creativity and technology. As Hong Kong's digital technology flagship and key incubator for entrepreneurship, Cyberport nurtures an expanding digital community of over 1,900 startups and tech companies. Over 160 Cyberport startups form an influential digital entertainment clusters in Hong Kong. Among them, Animalca Brands, as you may have heard, has been leading the global arena in digital entertainment with its Web3 ambition and rose as a unicorn last year. While many other startups have been advancing the creative industries through technology enhancement in production of movies and animation, extending new frontiers with metaverse and extended reality, and also creating new value with NFT, digital ownership, and new financing options. Indeed, Cyberport has also been a melting pot of global cultures and innovation by connecting innovative talents from around the world. 1 over 4 founders of Cyberport on-site company are of non-local origins, joining us from the Middle East, apart from Europe and APAC regions. Meanwhile, with Cyberport's extensive support, more than 10 of our community companies have developed solid presence in the Middle East market, and even more startups have expressed interest in expanding there. I'm sure they will be further inspired by this forum with promising prospects of the MENA markets. At this juncture, I would like to thank Asia Content Business Summit, Manga Production, and Salon Film for coordinating this inspiring exchange with Cyberport. Riding on the new outlook brought by the Bell and Roll initiatives, we look forward to furthering our collaboration in the creative industries for strengthened synergy and cultural influence. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chang. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Fred Wang, Chairman of Asia Content Business Summit and Salon Films, to give a welcome speech. Mr. Wang, please.
Distinguished guests, and particularly Dr. Sams, welcome you to Hong Kong. Just 10 days ago, our President Xi Jinping visited your country. His Excellency, the King, and the Crown Prince have a long discussion how to have the collaboration between the Middle East country and Asia and the world, particularly at this era of this problem of the pandemic. And we see that the light now because you bring your team here with the young people, new digital initiative. I hope this will start a new journey where your film premiere here is the journey between the 5,000 years of history linking between the Middle East and Asia. And we know that in the last 500 years, a lot of Western civilization have helped develop the world today. But the next 500 years, I hope that our 5,000 years of the history can prevail. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wang. So before our keynote speakers present their speeches, I would like to show a video that showcases Hong Kong's capability in culture, technology, and economy.
History has made the city one of the world's important cultural and financial hubs. Hong Kong founds its importance on the world's stage as a bridge between other cultural and economic bodies. In recent years, the Hong Kong government has been pouring support into the incubation for technology and talent development, positioning Hong Kong as the heart of culture and technology as part of the 14th Five-Year Plan for National Economic and Social Development of People's Republic of China. Incubators such as Cyberport play an essential and influential role in developing the technology industries in Hong Kong by nurturing and supporting local tech startups. Chief Executive John Lee has indicated that Hong Kong is ready to boost its technology, arts, and creative economies to strengthen the city's role on the global stage and as the bridge between China and the rest of the world. In today's discourse on content production, talent exchange, and international collaboration, we aim to explore this. How can Hong Kong play its role effectively to facilitate technological, cultural, and economic exchange as a gateway between China, Asia, and the Middle East?
So our video mentioned about talent nurturing. So for our first keynote speaker, I would like to invite Professor Alexander Wei, President and Vice Chancellor of Hong Kong Baptist University, to come on the stage and share with us how we can nurture talent.
Chairman Simon Chan, Your Excellency Dr. Bakari, Fred Wong, and Peter. Okay. Good afternoon, distinguished guests. Thank you very much for giving me this chance to share with you what we do in Hong Kong. Well, I'm supposed to talk about talent training for creativity in Hong Kong, the tertiary education, but it's difficult to do everything in 10 minutes. So if you pardon me, I'll focus more on what happened in our university, the Hong Kong Baptist University. Next slide, please. Well, I'm talking to the convert here. You all know technology is driving the changes we are living now, okay? You can start, depending where you like. You can start from the Industrial Revolutions, or you can just look closer in the ICT revolution in the 80s. Right now, for the future, we all know about AI, artificial intelligence, deep learning, big data, automation. All these disruptive changes will change the way that we study, work, and live, and not just in entertainment or the digital arena. Next slide, please. Now, this is just an estimate in 2025, how each of the business lists above, okay, in terms of trillion. Of course, these are estimates, okay? You can see this is all technology related, from mobile internet to automation of knowledge network and so on. Of course, you can't really buy your stock based on this information, but they are telling us that technology is changing the way that we live and work. Next one, please. Now, this is old prediction that I talk a lot about. Back almost 10 years, Oxford University have a prediction at that time. In 25 years, almost half of the jobs in the US will be at risk. And now we are almost there. We are halfway through, okay? At that time, there's not a lot of talk about, the AlphaGo haven't come out yet, all the deep learning haven't gone in the front page yet. The buzzword at that time is called automation. And the prediction by McKinsey at that time is that the health sector is the one that can really survive. You can go on the web and look it up. There's a lot of prediction about how profession like translation, even lawyers or accountants will be at risk because of automation. Within state is replaced by AI and big data. Next slide, please. Now, what McKinsey missed is the emergence of this so-called soft power, the digital one, okay? Now, I'm sure you recognize the, above the picture is the Team Lab from Japan. And then it was really caught attention, I think, worldwide, Squid Games in Korea. If you look at Korea or South Korea, they really get into the cultural business back in 2008, after the financial crisis. And in less than 15 years, the Korean culture are spreading through the globe. And I'm sure very soon, okay, the Chinese culture, the Chinese equivalent of Squid Games, will be around. Next one, please. Now back to the topic that I want to talk about today is in such a way that we are seeing how technology is changing the way we live and work and study, how should we prepare our students, okay? Next slide, please. Now, in order to educate so-called future-ready students, the emphasis will be certainly on innovation and creativity. But how do you teach innovation and creativity, okay? I'll talk about that later. And what you need, actually on the other side, you really teach them by learning firsthand. There's a good old saying, right? You hear, you forget. You see, you remember. I do, I understand. So really the word immersion, okay, immersive is very popular these days. Same is for education. Of course, we also want to educate our students the empathy, the cultural awareness. When the world, despite what the geopolitical situation is right now, okay, we do believe the world is getting closer because of the web, the metaverse. So we need to teach our students cultural awareness, problem-solving skill, and anyone, even though you're interested in just visual art, traditional art, you need to have critical technology skill. Otherwise, you will be left behind. And of course, self-management. So for that, the learning experience should be authentic, contextual, okay, contextualized. The classroom type problem really should be avoided as much as possible, okay? And we need to educate students about process and outcome. And key point, of course, learning how to learn and solution-based. And well, I won't get into it. We have a lot of debate in Hong Kong University where the traditional education system we have, that you take 14 weeks a semester, 3 hours per week for a free credit course. This type of really industrial revolution era learning or teaching is the right for the future anymore, okay? But that's, I guess, a material for another talk. Next slide, please. So for that, in HKBU, we established the School of Creative Arts. Now that's, in a way, it's a bit misleading because under School of Creative Arts in HKBU right now, we have the accredited film, accredited music, and accredited visual art. We have that all along already in HKBU, okay? Except that in the past, it's separate into different faculties. And so I joined the university last year, in February last year, and one of the first things I did is to put them under the same umbrella to create synergy. The whole idea is that, I'm sure you all are keenly aware in this forum here, they embrace opportunity in Hong Kong and Greater Bay Area because of the 14th five-year plan, that Hong Kong will be the role between East with West, right? This is what the country wants us to do. And also in Hong Kong, our chief executive also want Hong Kong to be promote art tech, okay? I'll go into that a little more, okay? So the two ideas to put all this together is to, attract visibility, and it works, okay? Next slide, please. Now, quickly, we actually launched new programs, what we call transdisciplinary program. Now, if you go to Google or dictionary, transdisciplinary and interdisciplinary seems to be the same meaning. But here, we use the word transdisciplinary. Trans means transform. Because we firmly believe in our university that because of the technology coming in that we just talked about, the different disciplines are merging together and new disciplines will form. So we hope our curriculum also will transform together with the development. So we have two new programs, actually three, but here I just talk about two. One is on arts and technology, bring them together. Okay, so artists need to learn about technologies, and technologists need to learn something about arts. And also global entertainment. Okay, I don't need to say any more to this audience about global entertainment. We also launched another program, what we call the personalized pathway, meaning that the student will design, with the assistance of the professor, their own study path, which is, well, we're not the first campus school who do that, but then there's not that many who are doing it. Next slide, please. All right, quickly moving on, because I supposed to talk about intellectual collaboration. In our campus, we have we are part of a cross-institutional interaction platform. You see on the right, our partner university. Our university, also, there are two universities from Hong Kong. Us, okay, Baptist University and also CTU. And then Kyoto, Sika University in Japan, LaSalle College of Arts in Singapore, then also in Taiwan, in London, and also in Switzerland, okay. What we used to, before COVID, we are able to interact physically. But with COVID, we developed online collaborations. Next slide, please. This is both in terms of research and education. We launched by our own university because we have a pretty good film school. It's called the Global University Film Awards, held every 2 years. We just have it this year because of COVID. This year we do it in virtual mode. Okay, we have a lot of. This is was branded as an Oscar for university students. We have more than 1,000 entries from all over the world, including Saudi Arabia, and also from Europe and from Eastern Europe, America, and so on. And unfortunately, we couldn't download the link here, but so you can go on YouTube and you can pick it up and see how it's like. It was pretty amazing, the film making by the students. Next slide, please. And so in terms of research, we focus on really on art, culture, creativity. We have two. One is health science. The other one is art, culture, creativity, and media. The key point is that it had, again, as has been said so far, the interaction between science, technology, AI, and big data. Next slide, please. In Hong Kong, the funding, the research funding don't come from that many sources, okay? Here is an RGC, Research Grant Council. It awarded a couple of years ago the largest art tech grant, over 50 million Hong Kong, okay, for creativity, symbiotic creativity between human and AI, okay? And we have actually launched, on the right, the figure is that our Aquarium Music have annual concert. But in this particular one that we just held in July, we have, in part of it, AI and human play together, play a song. The song is, the music actually comes from human, but the singing, the choir, comes from machine. And it's not recording, it's a machine that the conductor, conduct the machine to sing with, AI created video image on screen, okay? Again, you can check it out in YouTube, okay? Next slide, please. And we recently award, an ITF, Innovation Technology Fund, and also the largest one that awarded by ITC for art tech. For the previous project is for 5 years. This one is for 2 years, $35 million. So per year, this is actually a bigger grant. We are focused on the so-called future cinema. We are looking at how the cinema experience will be like, in 5, 10 years. I all invite all of you, the lab we just finished building up, okay, and you see down the video clip is a 360 display. Key point is not display, key point is the image. Here's a Dunhuang cave, some of the old work by Professor Jeffrey Shaw on the corner figure there, and it will be quite a different experience there, okay. Next slide, please. Oh, this one is we work with the EPFL of Switzerland and CTU, okay. This one, if you have gone to Palace Museum, you have seen the work by our colleague, Professor Jeffrey Shaw, on the lower left corner, that you lie down and look at how Emperor Qinlong, dream about, I'm not sure that's his wife, okay, his ladies, okay, one of his ladies, okay. And the animation on the right actually is interactive. It is Chinese painting about the 100 horses, and here the audience go in and can use hand movement to interact with the figures, okay? And so this is a way to make history, make culture less conventional, may I say, all right? Next one, please. Now, this should be my last one, okay? This is another for the celebration of the 25th year anniversary of Hong Kong government of China. The gentleman in the lower picture is the dean of the School of Creative Arts. Okay, he's also a very accomplished conductor. He pair painting with music. Okay, the exhibition is called The Road to Baroque, and I'm lucky enough to have a personal tour by him. And he's using art tech to create the imaginary sound. So when you look at painting, it's no longer just visual, static. You also have the music that come with it. And of course, I have no one drop of artistic blood in me, but hearing his explanation, you can see the new dimension, how you're mixing sound, all our senses, okay? your sight, your sound, your hearing, your sound, it will be very different. And we will see this is the beginning of, what we're talking about today, the road to the metaverse, the digital world. Okay, I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Salam alaikum. Yeah, I have a good teacher. I just learned it from Dr. Baraki. This is something you learn every day, and I hope I've not failed you. Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming to this very important forum exchange that we have. We are really honored and privileged, to have the Saudi Arabia delegation led by Dr. Baraki to visit Cyberport. Now, this is, as Fred mentioned, the first delegation of Saudi Arabia visiting China after President Xi's visit to Saudi Arabia. So we are really honored. Thank you so much. I'll be brief. Yeah, I can definitely use the 10 minutes very effectively. Now, if I may, I'll just very briefly introduce what Cyberport is doing for the digital entertainment area. Many of you probably know Cyberport a lot related to financial technology and also smart living. But we do have also very vibrant and strong digital entertainment community. And this is probably going to be even developed further with many new initiatives coming. This is not by chance, because as our chairman mentioned just now, we do have a very clear national strategy under the 14th five-year plan to make Hong Kong the center for East meeting West for both, arts and culture. So this is under the national strategy, and also, like the President Wei mentioned, the policy address has also made it very clear that art times tech, or art tech, will be the focus of the Hong Kong government in the coming years. So we at Cyberport definitely are going to do something, a number of initiatives to be in line with the national and also the Hong Kong policy on this. And for some of you who are aware of Cyberport, we do have a sizable community, and among them, we now have around over 1,900 companies, and among them, digital entertainment is one of the key clusters besides fintech and smart living. Animoca brands, many of you are aware of them, is one of our pride, one of the very successful company now focused on metaverse, groomed by Cyberport. And you will hear more of our collaborations in the coming months and years. Now, as a digital entertainment hub, what do we do? Now, we can see actually a lot of the different areas related to digital entertainment are now enhanced or even more so converging through technology. Now, in digital entertainment, we now have metaverse, NFT, art tech, movie tech. We have esports, and all these are now coming together through the integration by technology. The government has been very supportive to Cyberport, and in the past few years, even before the policy address of focusing on art tech, there is already digital entertainment industry support scheme that they provided to us, focus a lot on esports and other related entertainment. And we have already conducted, through this funding scheme, many events and also groomed many talents through internship programs within these supports. So these are some of the numbers that I would like to share with you, and you will see this number probably exploding in the coming years to even higher achievements. Now, just to also show you some of the achievement of our startups. Many of these probably you've seen on YouTube or other medias, and these are really successful, the only part of the successful startups that we have. Yeah, more please. Yeah, come on. Next please, yes, yeah. Every year we have major events called Digital Entertainment Leadership Forum. In this year's event, we also feature one of our startup custom collections, Avatar, 3D Avatar, which is again very impressive in greeting the guests with a sort of AI-based interaction. Next, please. Yes. Now, these are, again, some of the other things that we have participated, or our startups has participated in, and have been achieving in the past years. So, to end the whole thing with a little bit of a drama, the space that you are now here in, the cyber arena, is actually opened in 2019. And here, I'll leave you, end with a clip from the opening event, which again, feature the integration of augmented reality with the whole opening event. The audience sitting in the cyber arena then actually see on the display many different characters, coming, flying around, and they can also, interact with them through the augmented reality application. So please enjoy. Thank you.
3, 2, 1. Congratulations! This marks the grand opening of Cyber.
Next time, with enough lead time, we'll make another opening of this event even more spectacular with AR. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yang. Before I introduce our next speaker, our speaker would like to show a video to you first.
让这群卖家的渔民 见识我方军队力量的时刻到了。
接下来的时代一定会需要像你这样的善人吧？
我一直记得如何使剑以及战斗的方法。我已经不是一个能够获得神赦免的人。
你敢不敢告诉大家你的过去？
爸爸！来了吗？这些心中无神的愚蠢家伙们！
一定要平安。
不要害怕，我是绝对不会退缩的。
全体部队，进军攻击！
那我们就让他们后悔当初没有选择投降来当奴隶。
这个时刻正是让他们见识麦加人民团结之力与勇气的时候。
你们就等着到时咬着手指，见证神陨落的那一幕吧。
到底要我等到什么时候？
奥斯，还没完，还可以战斗，会获得最后胜利的是我们才对。
死吧！
我是朱拜勒之子奥斯。
So our next speaker is Dr. Isam Bohari from Mongol Productions. Dr. Isam is from Saudi Arabia and has come a long way to present his speech. So please give a warm welcome to Dr. Isam.
Assalamu alaikum. 大家好，我是伊尚。我是阿拉伯人。今天我很高兴到这个来。Mr. Simon, Mr. Peter, Mr. Fred, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. It's my great honor today to be here with you in this beautiful city, Hong Kong, with our friends, to participate in this forum and to celebrate the premiere of the Journey movie, the first Saudi animation movie, for the first time for any Saudi or Arabian movie in Hong Kong, China. If you ask me about manga productions, about the beginning of the journey of this movie, Manga Productions, we are a Saudi company. We are a subsidiary of Mohammed bin Salman Foundation, MISC. In 2017, we started this project with a dream. We would like to create world standard movie. At Manga Productions, we believe that we will make animation, comics, video game. But our mission is to inspire the heroes of tomorrow. We believe in the power of content in shaping the future of generations and give them the dream and give them the power to be the better versions of themselves. 2017, we had no office. We had no employees, no universities in Saudi Arabia that teach animation. All we had is a dream and vision from our inspirational leader, Prince Mohammed bin Salman. With His Royal Highness' support, we started the negotiations with our Japanese partners, Toei Animation. First condition we had, we need to empower our youth. We need opportunities for internship and training for Saudi young talents. We sent them to Japan. We invested in them. We believed in them. We hired them. And they worked with us. And this is the result. The Journey movie, the trailer, had more than 100 million views around the globe. We had the premiere in Saudi Arabia, in UAE. For the first time for all Arab movies, premiere in Japan. With the support of our friends at Salon Films, we had the premiere in Indonesia, Malaysia. It was the first Saudi and Arab movie to be premiered in Hollywood in the Chinese theater. And even if you look at the rating, the Journey movie had higher rating at IMDb, at Google Review, comparing to movies that were produced at prestigious studios in the US and in Japan. The Journey movie now is available on 49 platforms globally. It's available in Arabic, Japanese, English, German, and Mandarin. And today I'm very glad to have this movie here. Some of you might ask, why? If you look at the map, China and Arab world, geographically, the distance might look very far away. However, culturally, we are very similar. We share a lot of values. We believe in Guanxi. We believe in the relationships between families, between friends. When we do business, we care about trust. We care about friendship. Honoring parents, hospitality, and many others great values we share between China and Saudi Arabia as well as Arab world. I visited Hong Kong 40 years ago. I was a small kid. My father had to do business with Hong Kong. I grew up watching the movies of Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. For long years, we had been countries that consume content. Today, I'm very glad that Saudi Arabia, with collaboration with Asia, now we are exporting content. Indeed, if you look at the history, we share the history of Silk Road. I visited the National Museum yesterday. I saw traditional plates go back 600 years ago with Arabian letters. It's a part of the Chinese history. We share history. Indeed, papers that were invented in China, Arabs took those papers to the world, and we spread the culture of books and reading. We had the Silk Road. We had the Sea Silk Road. And now it's time for us to express and to present to the world the new Silk Road. It's the cyber Silk Road. It's creativity Silk Road. It's the content Silk Road. And Mr. Fred, I totally agree with you. Yesterday, Argentina won the World Cup. But please remember, in the first match, Saudi national team, we won against Argentina. And if we could make it in football, I'm 100% sure we will make it in industry, in innovation, in IT, in space, and in all other areas. Together, we can create a better world. Together, we can create a peaceful world for all humanity. And I would like to take this opportunity to express my appreciation to all of you, to our great friends at Salon Films, to Cyberport, to representatives from public and private sectors in Hong Kong, China, and of course to the heads of Arab missions in Hong Kong, and to everyone here. And let me conclude my speech by saying that the journey between 0 to 1 is longer than the journey from 1 to 1,000. Our dream is not 1,000. Our dream is to go beyond 100,000, million, trillion, and beyond. Sheshe.
Thank you, Dr. Issam. We just have a speaker from the Middle East. Next, we will have Mr. Raymond Yip from Hainan and Nansha Development to talk about Hong Kong and the Greater Bay Area development. Mr. Yip, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Salam alaikum. It gives me great pleasure to be present today because I have special emotions for Saudi Arabia. My first trip to Saudi Arabia was 40 years ago. And before I retired from my last job, the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, I also opened the Council's 50th consultant office in Riyadh. So I have taken many delegations to Saudi Arabia, so I do have very special emotions about this country. It's a great country which I have a lot of respect. Today I represent Guangzhou Nansha new area Hong Kong office. So Nansha is actually part of Guangzhou City, which is the municipality, the provincial capital of Guangdong Province. And Nansha is the district of Guangzhou City, which is closest to Hong Kong. Today, you can take the high-speed train from West Kowloon, and you will be there in 35 minutes. So why one need to pay attention to the Greater Bay Area, of which Hong Kong, Macau, and also 9 other cities in Guangdong Province are part? Firstly, let's look at the world's major Bay Areas. So you have the New York Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area, the Tokyo Bay Area, then the Greater Bay Area. These Bay Areas are economic engines of the respective countries. The Tokyo Bay Area, for instance, accounts for nearly half of Japan's GDP. So these are very important areas. Next, please. Next slide. Okay, so this map shows the Greater Bay Area. Next, please. Please. Next. 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 Okay, so we have a comparison of the 4 Bay Areas in the world. As you can see, the Greater Bay Area does excel in 5 out of the 9 parameters. Okay, largest land area, most populous area, those in red circles, most number of air passengers, because there are 5 airports in the Greater Bay Area, the major airports. Number 1 in air cargo throughput, because Hong Kong is the number 1 air cargo airport in the world. Also, number 1 in container port throughput, because there are 3 major container ports in this area, including Hong Kong, Shenzhen, and Guangzhou. Okay, next one, please. I think this is not the latest chart, but I just want to say that the number of QS World Top 100 universities, Hong Kong has now 5, which I think outnumbers the other Bay Area. Next, please. Okay, so this is the geographical location of Nansha, which is the yellow part. This is the part of Guangzhou that goes to the sea. Nansha is actually a deep sea port, which is also the biggest container port hub in southern China, and also the 3rd largest shipbuilding center in China after Shanghai and Dalian. And I think they're now also building rockets in Nansha. They're building 30 commercial rockets per year. There's a Toyota plant there, which turns out 1 million cars per year. Again, the biggest Toyota plant outside Japan. And you can see the highways, the roads, the trains, the high-speed trains, they all converge in Nansha. Next, please. So this is the geographic location. The big circle is 100 kilometers. Today, we are talking about a half-an-hour living circle. That means you can reach all the areas within the bigger circle in half an hour, including Hong Kong, which is 35 minutes away from high-speed train. Okay, next one. Okay, why Nansha? Location, location, location. We all learned this in our business school. Area, it is a big area, 803 square kilometers, about 10% bigger than Singapore. And it's very solid industrial base, as I just explained. And they are now pursuing a lot of high-tech industries, AI, robotics, quantum computing, and even deep sea exploration and research, fire ice, and also coal ship, all these things. It is a highly developed door into mainland China. It is the part of the provincial capital that is closest to Hong Kong. Next. Okay, it is one of the cooperation platform of Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau. And the keywords for development in LANSA is comprehensive cooperation. It's not only focusing on certain sectors, it is also facing the world. That means oriented towards the world. It's not only a domestic affair, but it's the international one. Next. Okay, so these are the LANSA plan. I just want to explain the 5 key missions. Next. Okay, as you can see, the first 2 is to build a technology and innovation cooperation base. So this shows that LANSA places a lot of emphasis on technology development. Second one, about youth startup and employment. Again, this is a very important area. Okay, next one, please. These are some of the policy advantages. I just wanted to highlight the Hong Kong people paying Hong Kong tax. This is a very attractive policy in that if you work in LANSA, you will pay exactly the same tax you are paying in Hong Kong. That means if you pay 10,000 Hong Kong dollars tax in Hong Kong, you pay the same amount in LANSA. If you don't pay tax in Hong Kong, you don't need to pay tax in LANSA, which is very attractive. It is the only place I know of at the moment that have this policy. And it applies not only to ethnic Chinese citizens in Hong Kong, it also is applicable to expatriates living and working in Hong Kong, even if you don't hold a permanent ID card. So it's very attractive. Okay, the rest I just would leave it for the time being. Okay, next one, please. Okay, I want to talk about the theme of today, the content industry. I'll just use the film industry to illustrate the point why Hong Kong matters to you if you're in the content business. Now, this is the box office receipts of last year. As you can see, China tops the list, followed by America. Hong Kong, despite a small place, is not too bad. So as you can see, China actually accounts more than 1/3 of the world's box office receipt, rising from almost nowhere 10, 20 years ago. So China is now the biggest box office receipt market in the world. Next one. Okay, now, today we are talking about co-production with China. This is the key to success in the Chinese film market. Hong Kong produced a lot of films together with China. I mean, Chinese language films. As you can see, last year, more than 80% of the co-production was with Hong Kong. The advantages of a co-produced film is that it's free of quota. China has an annual quota of film imports into the mainland, but co-produced films are exempted from this quota. So last year, there are 14 co-produced films out of a total of 17. Next. Now, last year, the top 20 box office receipts films, Chinese language films in the mainland China, out of the 20, 6 of them are co-produced with Hong Kong. In fact, the top 4 of them are among the top 10. And the highest box office receipt film last year in China was this one, Chang Jin Lek. It is the highest box office receipt. It netted worldwide $900 million of box office receipt. It was the #1 film worldwide in terms of box office receipt, surpassing all Hollywood films. It was the first time that a non-Hollywood film becomes the blockbuster in the world, and this is this film. And this film is a co-produced film with Hong Kong. Second, and then the next one, Detective Chinatown 3. This is the #3 highest box office receipt film in China last year. Again, it is a co-produced film with Hong Kong. I think the revenue was 4.5 billion renminbi, which is, again, a very high yield film. Okay, you can see the next one is the 6th largest and 9th largest, 16, 17. So in the mainland market, co-produced film with Hong Kong is almost a sure win for success, because Chinese audience, they like the Hong Kong genre and the Hong Kong way of, directing and screenplay, and also shooting a movie. So I would encourage our friends from Saudi Arabia to look at the possibility of co-production with Hong Kong and mainland, okay? Tripartite co-production. The second one, for example, is a tripartite co-production between China, Hong Kong, and Japan. So this is your ingredient to success in China, and you need to pay attention to China, and the way to start is to start with Hong Kong. And of course, Nansha is also a very important hub, because the government does offer a lot of very favorable policies for companies, whether you're Hong Kong or overseas, settling down in Nansha. For example, if you engage in metaverse, the government of Nansha will give you a reward if you are the highest tier, up to 200 million renminbi for a team and also for a project in Nansha. So there are various possibilities, including sponsorship for youth, and also startups, even employments, many, many possibilities. So if you're interested, please, we have a website, and I have this, what we call 懶人包, lazy man's packet, that will give you in 10 pages all the incentives why you need to be in Nansha. Next, please. Okay, this is again the summary of the development, anchor in GBA, which is the Greater Bay Area, partner of Hong Kong, Macau, and facing the world. Next. Okay, I'm going to show you a short video about
Yeah, in the morning we took the metro line, line 18, is what they were saying. And it's one of the fastest lines in China. It got up to 161 kilometers per hour, which was probably the fastest metro I've ever ridden. It improves people's commute. This morning we rode in the Pony AI autonomous cars, and that was actually really interesting. They are pretty advanced, I would say, and I thought it was interesting seeing that there was no driver needed for the autonomous, obviously it's an autonomous car, and so it was a lot of fun to take the ride over to.
Well, I feel like this is quite a comfortable city for living, because it has pretty much everything what like a normal person needs. A good environment, fresh air, good job opportunities, business opportunities.
Now we're at the Nansha Planning Museum, learning more about the history of Nansha and how it's been developed. There's a lot of high-tech industry here that has been developed in the last few years. Yeah, one of the things that is interesting is they were saying that for Chinese businesses, you can get a business license for this area within 10 minutes. And obviously, if you can set up a business or get a business license here in this area very quickly, more and more businesses will be attracted, which will help develop the area even farther.
Well, just like I said, it's beyond the technology. Yeah, and first time I've seen something like that in my life, and it's quite impressive. Yeah, and like it makes you feel real, especially the hologram. Like it makes you feel really real. Well, I think it's really thoughtful because it's giving the birds like natural environment. It's very thoughtful, and the design is also like, as I can see, it's really amazing.
So I hope you love Lansha and love me. And please, when you think about the Greater Bay Area, when you think about Hong Kong, think about Lansha also. When you think about Lansha, please think about me.
Thank you.
Shukran.
Thank you, Mr. Yip. The government's support is very important in nurturing young talents and supporting the industry. So next, I would like to invite Mr. Victor Zhang from Create Hong Kong to talk about what the government has done and what their future plans in this area. Mr. Zhang, please.
Simon, Fred, Dr. Asam Bukhari, the Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, media friends, thanks Asia Content Business Summit, Cimentation, and Dr. Helen Chan's arrangement. I would like to share with you the latest development of Create Hong Kong's in propelling Hong Kong's creative industries. First slide, please. Create Hong Kong was established in year 2009 under Hong Kong's Special Administrative Region government to be the designated office for strategizing Hong Kong as Asia's creative hub. We have also been providing financial support through two separate funds, namely Film Development Fund and also Create Smart Initiative Fund. Our annual funding scale has reached the benchmark of 450 million last year. In the Chief Executive's maiden policy address, next please, promulgated that the current term government is committed to fostering the cultural development of Hong Kong to expedite its progression into an East-West Center for International Cultural Exchange. One of the policy targets is to promote Hong Kong's pop culture to go global by expanding the industry's development capacity with 3 foci on film, television, and streaming platforms, respectively. With the formation of a new Culture, Sports, and Tourism Bureau by the new term of government, Create Hong Kong is in an even better position to offer synergetic effects with crossover projects with culture, arts, sports, and tourism. Next, please. On 4th November last month, Film Development Council has announced that Film Development Fund will implement 2 new measures, namely the Hong Kong Asia Film Collaboration Funding Scheme and the Content Development Scheme for streaming platform. The Collaboration Funding Scheme will support collaboration between local and Asian film production teams for co-production of films, while the Content Development Scheme will focus on the development of new content on streaming platforms by cross-sectoral production teams. I would like to quote from the speech of Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism during the launching event, New Power of Hong Kong Cinema. He praised, "The 2 new measures we first unveiled today will enhance the influence of Hong Kong's film in the Asian market and explore new distribution channels. They will bring the Hong Kong film industry to a new height." Next, please. Among the many projects supported by Create Hong Kong, I would like to cite 2 more relevant projects with today's theme. The first project is called Animation Support Program. This is organized by Hong Kong Digital Entertainment Association, our long-term partner in the last 10 years. This year, in its 10th edition, the project will support a total of 30 local animation companies, separated into 3 tiers of sophistication, with financial subsidies and professional training for beneficial companies to produce original animation. The 3 tiers will have to produce an original animation ranging from minimum 3 minutes to minimum 10 minutes, with 3 levels of financial subsidies of 120, 220, and 550,000 Hong Kong dollars. Many of the animation created in the past editions have received remarkable results in international competition, including the Digicon Asia Awards, which are also known as the Oscar Awards of Animation in Asia. All produced animation of this edition are scheduled to have a premiere in the first quarters of 2023 and screening during the Film Mart in March. Next, please. The second project to share is called Hong Kong Film Game Enhancement and Promotion Scheme. Again, organized by Hong Kong Digital Entertainment Association, but this is relatively new in only 3 years, if compared to the 10 for animation. The project will support a total of 12 local game startups to improve the quality and profitability of their new games that have never been commercially released in any market before participating in the scheme. Apart from financial subsidies from 450,000 to 550,000 for each startup, together with mentors, professional guidance, all startup companies have also received sponsors to participate in the Tokyo Game Show for raising international exposure. We have received very encouraging results that over 30 million downloads from all the games participated in the scheme. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Zhang. So before our next session begins, I would like to invite our guest of honor, His Excellency Mr. Hamad Mohammed Al-Jabri, as Consul General from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, to come on stage to present a souvenir to our speakers and panelists as a token of appreciation. His Excellency Mr. Hamad Mohammed Al-Jabri, please come on stage. First, I'd like to invite Professor Wei to come on stage to receive the souvenir. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Yang to come on stage. Would Dr. Exam please come on stage? Would Mr. Yip please come on stage? Would Mr. Zhang please come on stage? Next, I would like to invite all our panelists to come on stage. Mr. Ignatius Young, Ms. Caroline Young, Mr. Ivan Ng, Mr. Gordon Chin, Mr. Gabriel Pang, and Mr. Abdulazi and Nahu to come on stage. So thank you, His Excellency. And today, we are also honored to have Consul Generals from the MENA region to attend our forum. And I would like to invite our distinguished guests to come on stage for a group photo. His Excellency Mr. Nasser and Han Nim from the State of Kuwait, and Mr. Sheikh Saud Ali Al Mullah from the United Arab Emirates. And also, Mr. Fred Wen and Mr. Simon Chan, will you please come on stage for the group photo? Maybe we move a bit to this side. Move a bit to this side so that a bit to this side, so that the CG will be in the central position. Yes. Okay, we also have the support of many of our partners, so I would like to invite our partners to come over for the group photo. And also a moderator for the panel, Eric. Thank you very much for all our speakers and the panelists and His Excellency. So next session will be a panelist discussion. As we need to do the setup, our YouTube audience will have a short break. So please do stay with us to listen to our panelist discussion. Today, our panel discussion will be by a group of stars from the entertainment industry. Mr. Eric Chan, Chief Public Mission Officer, will be our moderator for the panel discussion. And our panelists include Mr. Ignatius Young, Senior Advisor to Bingo Group Holding Limited, Ms. Caroline York, Marketing Director of Gusto Collective, Mr. Ivan Project Director from Maya Limited, Mr. Gordon Chin, CEO of Asia Animation and Puzzle Animation, Mr. Gabriel Pang, Managing Director of MD Firefox Creative Company and Chairman of Hong Kong Digital Entertainment Association. And last of all, we have a special guest from Saudi Arabia, Mr. Abdulaziz and Natmush, Director of Marketing and Business Development, Manga Productions. So may our panelists please go on stage.
Ivan 呢度。You are here. Please, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Gabriel.
呢度量好多。
Well, As our panel discussion will start, will I guess please be seated so that our panel discussion can start.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to these panel discussions in the afternoon forum themed Asia, MENA, Cultural, Technological, Economical Collaborations, Hong Kong as the gateway. Well, many of you may know that Hong Kong has actually one of the largest and most dynamic film industry in the world. It's a major center for film and television's content productions. And also, as you already heard, from some of the previous speakers, that Hong Kong is also China's primary co-production platform and a regional hub for buying and selling Asian films and TV dramas. Okay. Yeah, I think it's better off without the mask. Well, meanwhile, the Asia-Pacific region is now the largest contributor to growth of the global online video library. And then China is APAC's largest online video market, forecast to grow at an annual rate 5% to 2027, with revenues in excess of US $30 billion. At the same time, Saudi's entertainment industry is expected to grow exponentially with the support from Saudi government, initiatives and investments from the country's sovereign wealth fund. So the question is, at a time when the entertainment industry is driven and reshaped by technology, how will we be able to take advantage of technology to advance digital entertainment? And how can Hong Kong act as a connector between Asia and MENA countries to generate synergy and drive collaborations among the regions? So I'm very excited to introduce that we have 6 amazing panelists this afternoon. 5 from Hong Kong and 1 special guest from Saudi Arabia. So we have around 25-30 minutes for this panel, and we want to make the best use of this time to share with you some of the great insights from our panelists. So let me probably introduce one by one and ask them to share about their company, what they are doing, as well as what they think, as part of Hong Kong culture and creative industry. How do you think Hong Kong can be a gateway linking MENA countries and Asia for further innovations and generate more intercultural collaborations in content, technologies, media, and entertainment? So let me start by introducing the gentleman on my right, Mr. Ignatius Young, the Senior Advisor of Bingo Group Holdings Limited, which is a listed company held by Hong Kong film industry veterans Stephen Chow, Zhao Xingqi. Right, please, Ignatius, could you share, what you're doing and what you think about the collaborations?
Sure. Thank you, Eric, for the fantastic introduction. So just very quickly about what we do. So before we start, I have a friend who, during my EMBA class, taught me to say the greeting, Assalamu alaikum. So Did I get it correct? So just to make sure, like, pronounce it. Is that correct? Okay. So yeah, so hopefully we're gonna have a good time today. So before we start, I think in Hong Kong and in China, there's no need for me to introduce a lot about Mr. Chow. But for our friends from Saudi Arabia, just to look at some of the numbers on top of the screen. So one of the box office hits, one of his movies will 500 over million USD grossed. Total number of films that it has appeared in, more than 50 plus. Out of the top 10 grossing movies in Hong Kong of all times, he at least has 3, depending on which count. And how many film awards did he get over his lifetime? 17 plus. For a new start to his company, one of the things that we have always thought about when we're thinking about film and entertainment is, to be honest, whether a film is successful or not, besides the artistic value, a lot of it has to do with the ability of the film's IP to reach commercialization. And sadly, for a lot of Hong Kong-based and China-based movies, they have not been able to exploit the commercial potentials of film like Hollywood. So a lot of things that are missing includes a end-to-end idea about how to maximize the entire movie that you're producing, the IP that you have generated, the viewerships that you have gotten. A lot of the times we fail in maximizing the commercial viability. So for Bingo, in some time from September onwards, we've decided to embark on a IP acceleration business model so that on the day that we start to think about the movie, we actually start to think about the commercial aspects of the business at the start of the conceptualization of the content. So for example, in the first part of visualization, you already begin to think about how this story can be extended into a second story. Secondly, you're already starting to think how that content can be maximized in animations, in games, and in different forms of other generated content, including novels and short stories. You already start to think about merchandising. You already start to think about the toys that can come. You can already start think about the apparel designs that can come with the movie. And you already begin to think about the commercialization aspects of what would the end consumer would like when they see the movie or when they see the content. And lastly, you, immediately, even before you start to think about what type of content you want to create, what type of technology that you want to incorporate, you already begin to think about the distribution. So all it goes down, at the end of the day, I think for content and technology to converge, one of the very important key aspects is to think about the commercialization, is to think about which consumer markets will be that content be suitable for. And for our friends from Arabia, I would strongly urge you to think about China, because just for a guess, what do you think the top grossing Indian movie, which besides India, what is the biggest market? For a lot of our friends who have come from Saudi Arabia, one of the things you can think about is the commercialization aspect of an Indian-based movie. 2 of the top grossing Indian movies of all time, one of them is Secret Superstar, a movie that I really like. Their biggest foreign market is China, which accounted for more than 65% of their entire gross overseas. So that is a great blueprint for our friends in Middle East and Saudi Arabia to think about when they are thinking about developing great content, incorporating technology, which is the market they should focus on. And I would have to say that China probably is one of the best markets for foreign language films to enter, which is unlike the USA. If you're going to be putting a foreign language film in the US, it's probably not going to sell well. So again, for technology to be efficient, or for entertainment technology to be useful, it is very important for us to start to think about commercialization right at the start of a fantastic content project. So that is my 2 cents worth. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ignatius. And next, yes, round of applause for Ignatius. Well, next we have Ms. Caroline York. She is the marketing director of Custode Collective, a very successful Web3 company in Asia, metaverse project partner of the movie Warriors of Future, and I like that movie very much. And also, you know, Custode Collective has a digital company who have actually joined Cyberport's incubation program as well, right? So Caroline, please.
Thank you. I think what we do start off with is just an overview of what the company does. And I know that the Cyberport has actually prepared our 30-second teaser. So I was wondering whether or not we could show that now. Like a good teaser, gets the blood pumping. So as you can see, Gusto Collective, we do have 4 specialisms, and all of it is actually built upon storytelling. So we're a brand tech company. And what we mean by this is ultimately when you engage with other humans, it's all about the engagement, it's about the interaction, it's about understanding what they're interested in, and then telling the story that they need to hear, right? So I think with movie IPs, especially now we're in digital entertainment, what Ignacia said was very, very interesting and completely along the lines, and we have to agree. Extending the life and extending the IP of a content is super important, and it's something that Marvel in the US has done very, very well. So for us, with The Warriors of Future, this is one of the top grossing #1 movies right now in Hong Kong, and actually one of the first sci-fi movies that is completely computer generated, produced by renowned actor Louis Koo. So with this particular movie, what we actually did was we leveraged on all the new technologies, such as NFTs, such as the Web3 Discord communities, in order to continue bringing that story alive and crafting it and making sure that the people engage with it. Right? When you go into Marvel, you have Universal Studios as well. All of it is touch points. You get rides out of it. You get, apparel, all of that sort. Now, for us, in terms of Hong Kong as a gateway, what we see is super, super fascinating is you get amazing brands like Animoca, like all the ones seated here and the panelists, right? And what we're showing you right now is we do have that technology to bring it forward. And Hong Kong is a very interesting nexus point. This is what Gusto Collective truly believes in. So for the US, you have Wall Street, you have Silicon Valley, and then you have Hollywood. This is what makes first-tier city really great when it comes to innovation and creativity and the financial backing. What makes Hong Kong very unique is similarly so. We do have the Wall Street of Asia here in Hong Kong. Right? We have the nexus of the Silicon Valley with the Cyberport incubation programs as well. And now we are building a wonderful hub of art technology. We have a lot of great university programs coming, and I think the talent here is really growing for that particular aspect. So we're super excited to be able to leverage on all these sorts of technologies to help the brands you saw just now out of the 80 plus. These are luxury consumer brands. These are also entertainment brands to leverage their storytelling to create more immersive, engaging experiences that the Gen Z are going to look for. And I think this is something that we can definitely tap into, both into Greater China and also overseas.
Thank you, Caroline. And definitely we have actually seen a lot of success for major brands, for their engagement initiatives, through the Web3 projects that you have done for them. Right, next on the line, we have Mr. Ivan Ng, the project director of Mayar Timang company. It's actually a joint venture, right, between Mayar Entertainment and Timang Technologies, which is a one-stop internet, film, and television's entertainment solution providers. So please, Ivan.
Thank you, Eric, for introducing. We are Mayar Timang. I'm Ivan, the project director of the Mayar Timang, and we are a subsidiary of the Mayar Entertainment Group, which is a listed company in Hong Kong. And actually, we have over 35 years of movie industry experience, like in traditional industry. And now we are focusing on the new internet film industry and the Web3 experience. Of course, we still have a lot of big investment in the traditional movie. Like this year, we have a movie called When the Wind Blows, 風再起時. This year was selected for the Hong Kong entry as a best film for the Academy Award, the Oscar. So we are looking forward to get this prize. And yes, so for the next, we are now focusing on the new industry, new media these few years. Like for when the JV of MENA and Timon, we are a one-stop entertainment internet solution. Like we have producing and investing and also distribution for our platform. Also, actually, we think that Web3 will bring entertainment into a new generation. We believe that entertainment will bring people to first show up always, as always. So now we are developing a new blockchain IP platform. Then we can use our own IP, like we have over 100 licensings and IP for the traditional movies and also the new internet movies. So I think blockchain can bring a big change in the IP and licensing industry. So that's what we are doing now.
Thank you, Ivan. Definitely, we see that many IP owners are leveraging blockchain and many Web3 technologies to commercialize their IPs. So next we have Mr. Gordon Chin, who is the CEO of Asia Animation, as well as the CEO of Putso Animations, which is a company involved in the entire animation development value chain. Yes, please, sir.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gordon Chin from Asia Animation Hong Kong and Putso Animation Shenzhen, one of the leading animation studio in Hong Kong and Shenzhen. Two of my director animation was broadcasted in the MENA area. World Peacekeeper was broadcast in MBC3 in 2020, and GGO Football Season 1 and Season 2 was broadcast in Jim TV in the year of 2018 and 2020. And we got it rerun during the 2020 World Cup in Qatar and all across the Middle East. I would like to show the video clips to all of you.
منافسات على أشدها، مهارات وأهداف، وبطولة عالمية. هي لعبة كرة القدم ولكن بشكل مختلف. إنها كرة القدم GGO. كرة القدم GGO من الأحد إلى الخميس في 7:30 مساء بتوقيت مكة المكرمة على تلفزيون جيم.
الجميع في المستوى الأول. انتباه، ننتهي في 24 ساعة.
هيا استعدوا الآن.
حاضر سيدي.
حاضر.
في حال سرقت كل الموارد على الأرض فإن الوضع سيكون كارثياً.
ما هذا؟
الخمسة الدنيئون سأجعلهم يعانون.
يبدو هذا الجندي الأسود شاباً قوياً. أمر معقول، إنه قائد الجنود.
دمر قاعدتهم، امسح كل بشري، طهر الأرض.
إذن سنقاتل مجموعتين من الناس. الآن كوكب الشر يغزو الأرض، من واجبنا حماية وطننا. رغم أنني لا أعرف ما إذا كانت لدينا فرصة، مع ذلك نحن جنود حفظ السلام لن نستسلم أبداً.
لا يمكننا أن نخسر، لا بد من أن نكسب هذه المعركة.
حان الوقت لنهجم على الأرض.
اليوم يوم موتك.
My two animation company, Hong Kong as a creative and business sector, and my Shenzhen studio as production unit. I'm glad that we can share our animation program, culture, creation, joy, and happiness to the Middle East children. Hong Kong is not only an economy city, but we do have a lot of great talent of art, design, and technology. Hong Kong, we have mature business and law structure. And being the south door of China, using Hong Kong as a hub, we can also bring in a lot of Chinese animation program to the MENA area and create a lot of cultural diversity and exchange between us. So thanks a lot. Thanks again, and for the opportunity that we can share our work today. Thank you.
Thank you, Gordon. Thank you. So next we have our good friend, Gabriel Pang. Gabriel has been like a big supporter of Sapaport in many aspects, right? So he's the managing director of Fire Dog Creative Company Limited, and also he's the chairman of Hong Kong Digital Entertainment Associations. Gabriel, please.
Thanks, Eric. So hello, everyone. Yes, I've been a longtime friend of Cyberport and a former director of Cyberport too. So very happy to be here again. And thanks to Victor and thanks to Great Hong Kong Cyberport and also the organizer for inviting me to this panel. So a brief introduction, I'm Gabriel and I'm the chairman of the Hong Kong Digital Entertainment Association and also the CTO of a new startup in sports tech, V360. So next slide. For the last 30 years, actually I am in the animation, comics and game business. Being a great fan of Japanese animation, so I always dreamed that I can make some great works on my own. So then I started the Fire Dog Studio in the early 90s, and originally it's a manga and animation developer. And then later in 1999, we became a game developer. Well, next slide. It's not easy to be a startup in the 90s. Well, at any time maybe, but it's much easier now with the help of Cyberport and the government. Luckily, we got some success in Japan and also in the Asian markets. The Japanese Xbox version of our game Bistro Cupid was launched in Japan in August of 2002 and was well received by the players in Asia. I think it's because of our passion, our team's passion in anime. Next slide, please. Okay, yes, this one. More or less the same time, I joined the Hong Kong Digital Entertainment Association, and then I found out that when talking about passion, we're not alone. There are lots of passionate creative talents in Hong Kong, be it in animation, comics, or even game development, or maybe anything, films, visual effects, everything. Next slide, please. With the help from the government, like Create Hong Kong, OGO, Cyberport, the animation, comics, and game industry in Hong Kong have become a big, huge network of over 400 companies. So some of them are very, very successful, like maybe you've already met during lunchtime, Nicto Picto, Lily, and of course Animoker, and Gordon, Puzzle Animation, very, very good company. And also they have won many, many international awards in the past 10 years. I would like to introduce some of them in today's limited time. And let's have a look at Hong Kong's creative power. Next slide. Okay, Point 5 Creations, founded by Tommy and Polly in 2017. They've won the grand prize of the Digicon 6 Asia in 2019, and also the Best Fiction Film Award in HAF 2020. Their work, Another World, is one of the films of our animation support program, and they are now making the feature film version targeting 2024. Next slide, please. Yes. In Toxic Studio, the film Behind the School Bag, a second animation support program film, was selected to Annecy and other film festivals. And later that, the Mountains and Sea, also a ASP film, they got a silver award from the 22nd Digicon 6 Asia Award. They also do commercials and have worked with lots of international brands like Amazon, BBC, BMW, etc. And they're planning the Mountains and Seas TV series right now. Next slide. Yes, quite artistic. Penguin Lab, founded by Kong Ki, a comic artist and animator. They've won the 2020 Digicon 6 Grand Award with an ASP film, Dragon's Delusion Preface, a cyberpunk meets Chinese history animation short film. Kong Ki is currently having a cyberpunk exhibition in San Francisco Asian Art Museum right now. Next slide, please. Bigger one, Simage. Simage is one of the biggest and more established animation company in Hong Kong, of course, besides Gordon's Puzzle Animation. Simage has a very wide business spectrum, from 2D to 3D, game cinematics, to feature film production, pixel style, and Japanese anime style, everything. And of course, there are lots of experience working with international clients. Next slide. Okay. And the recent feature animation film, The Great Detective Sherlock Holmes, The Greatest Jailbreaker, it marked an important milestone in Hong Kong's animation film history and is currently on Netflix. Next. Okay, so we come to games. We have also lots of good game developers in Hong Kong. Talking about games, we have our Cyberport alumni VR and eSport representative, VAR Live. They make VR station hardware and games and just successfully raised their Series A round. Next. Also from Cyberport, Pixio is a very successful game developer. Their game, Summoner's Creed Night Legend, got over 20 million downloads worldwide. And the founder, Jeremy, helps a lot the whole industry as a marketing mentor for our game enhancement and promotion scheme supported by Create Hong Kong. Okay, next. Mad Hat, their mobile game Tower of Saviors. I think most of us in Southeast Asia know that. They got downloads around 30 million, over 30 million. It's definitely one of the most successful game company in Hong Kong. Next. Twitchy Finger, their game Apex Racer, a mini 4WD racing game, got over 5 million downloads worldwide. Also a Cyberport and game enhancement program alumni. Next one. Well, so we come to comics and manga. The Hong Kong comics industry was very famous in the 80s and 90s. But these few years, we can sense that a new wave created by our new young talents is coming. Currently, our new manga artists are in the Comic Fiesta event delegation in KL, Malaysia. So, and I've heard that they've got a very good response. So, welcome to know more about them. Next slide, please. Final slide. Hong Kong is an international city with lots of passionate creative talents. Hope that I've given you a rough image of it in this short 5 minutes and opens the gateway to our collaboration. Also, we are again having our biggest international film event, Film Arts, in coming March. We will have a digital entertainment pavilion showcasing most of the Hong Kong companies there. So looking forward to seeing you all here. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabriel, for giving us a very good, very precise and comprehensive market landscape about the Hong Kong digital entertainment industries. Last, and definitely not the least, is our special guest from Saudi Arabia, Mr. Abdulasi Nashmush. He's the Director of Marketing and Business Development from Manga Productions. And I, in particular, want to, ask you to share with us what you think about the Hong Kong market and what we could do together to bring, the whole industry to the next level, please.
Sounds good. I think there's a video that we're supposed to play. Yes. Okay. This is all the work of Manga
The journey
Thank you so much. I think when you ask question about what that I saw in Hong Kong the last few days and after we heard from everybody, I think the main thing that I noticed is between the Saudi and the creative industry and the industry here is the main issue is the distribution issue, I think. And I think that's when we started manga production the last 6 years, 5 years, the main two issues we had is the distribution and getting our content everywhere, and also the talent development. Okay, yeah. So I think that's the two main things that I noticed here. And I feel we saw a lot of great content from Hong Kong. We saw a lot of cool animation, cool movies, cool ideas, cool games, but they're not in the Middle East. They're not anywhere else. So I think that's one of the things that the Saudi creative industry has issue with, and that's the similar issue we saw. And I think that's one of the issues that manga was tackling in the last 5 years, how to get our content everywhere. And we have the first TV show ever from the Middle East to be broadcasted in China. So you mentioned entering the Chinese market. That's something we thought about in the last 3 years or 3 years, and we entered. We had our animation everywhere, US, South America, North America, Japan, North Africa, South Africa, everywhere. So I think that's with the main bridge that I would love to build as a manga production, is how do we not just get the content of manga production everywhere, but also how to get content from everywhere else in the Middle East. And that is something we have replicated in, as you can see, with some of our partners in Japan. We brought some of their content to the Middle East, and I think there is a big, maybe in Hong Kong more than the Middle East, is in distribution and extending that, because you already have the talents, but you don't have that distribution, honestly. And we are facing maybe both of the issues, and we're working on the same time on both of the issues. So I think we can collaborate together how to get the content from Hong Kong, from China, to the Middle East, and the vice versa, get the content from the Middle East to this way. And I think that is the key point that I noticed here, because every time I go to meet someone, it's like they have such a great content, but where is it? And I think that's the main, as a distribution and as a business development, I think that's the main issue I faced in the last 5 years. Despite we have a lot of great talent, I feel that's the main issue we have in the industry in Saudi Arabia. And I see the same issue here. And I feel that's a good collaboration we should collaborate in, and we should exchange the content together and help each other. And I think that's what I saw, and you brought a good point about getting the awards in Japan and everything, but why not in the Middle East? Why not in the film festivals in the Middle East? Why not go behind the Middle East too? So I think that's the thing that should be the key focus in the next few years for you guys, especially having been developed already in the animation of video game.
Thank you so much. And I cannot agree more, about, the aspirations to bring many of the Hong Kong companies, to go beyond Hong Kong. And that's actually one of the key public mission of Cyberport. We are not just, eyeing for the Hong Kong local market, but actually eyeing for the whole of China and also the whole world, and try to bring many of our startups, to the global scene. So with that, I would like to invite you for another round of applause for the insightful sharing from our panelists. And thank you all, for participating in this afternoon's panel. Thank you so much.
The completion of the panel discussion marks the end of our forum.
Thank you.
I hope
Caroline,
our
thank you.
audience both